Debunkers are nothing but parasites that grift off of other creators. Change my mind. One so-called debunker, you know the one, who decided that the UK isn't good enough for them, you know, that sad mask-wearing weirdo. What's his name? Oh yes, the side-eye guy. Look, I'm not picking on anyone just to be cruel or to be a bully. This guy does this whole mask thing, pulls no punches and thinks, he like other debunkers, that they're doing everyone a favor, which would be a good thing except it isn't. Let me explain. My bone of contention is with his and other debunkers seeking out the lowest hanging fruit, the whole routine of going after people or shows that were on TV decades ago. You'd think these debunkers would mostly be concerned with YouTube of the recent past, right? But in the side-eye guy's case, he decides that targeting the late Derek Acorah is justified, which comes across to me as the work of a clout chaser that is looking for a scalp that will impress his peers. That includes the likes of Beardo, but that guy is another story. Let's stick with the mask-wearing, Simon Cowell-sounding UK exile first. I don't see what the value of berating and publicly beating down on a man that died over 5 years ago, who was on a TV show that he was forced to leave over 20 years ago, is somehow relevant to modern-day YouTube ghost hunting. And that has nothing to do with the associated faking that goes on these days. This is a good example of why I think some, if not all, debunkers live off of other people's work, as in they are parasites that would not have a career doing what they do, unless it involved criticizing what other people do in their respective videos. With regards to ghost hunting, these agitators believe they are some kind of governing regulatory body, warning anyone that was fooled or misled by any kind of sleight of hand. So am I an Acorah fan? Well, I'd say yes, but that would put me into the debunker's undesirable pigeonhole. My issue with the kind of fame-seeking debunkers like Seg is that he ignores the facts. The fact that Acorah, I believe, was set up because of professional jealousy. The showrunner, Yvette Fielding, didn't like Derek Acorah being more popular than her. She asked him to leave. He refused. But I think if he had just said, "Okay, but can we finish Series 5? Then I'll leave," I think that would have been better for the show, as Acorah didn't produce or own Most Haunted. So what happened? Kieran O'Keefe was the resident skeptic. His job was to oversee the events of each episode, to question anything the psychic says, and when the episode is over, to sum up what was evidential. Instead, the producers used him to get Acorah removed from the show. Either O'Keefe was used by Fielding, feeding Acorah the fake ghost name, Creed Kiefer, an anagram of Derek Faker. Or O'Keefe knew what was going on and fed the info to him knowing it was a setup, but never admitting he knew what the producers were doing. O'Keefe is a criminal psychologist, so him not knowing what was going on to the extent of the producers' professional jealousy is a hard one to sell to me. I don't like backstabbers, I don't respect the BS that went on behind the scenes, and I really dislike idiots like the side-eye guy, gloating like a bully, bigging up the hapless, or knowing O'Keefe, who was either truly used by his boss, or he knew all along and hides behind the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement he signed when he was on the show. Most Haunted ran for another 5 years after Acorah left, until 2010, when Living TV became Sky Living and ratings were falling. The side-eye guy is an opportunist, not to mention the fact that Acorah died in 2020 from pneumonia and sepsis, so he isn't around to defend or argue his case, and that his time on the show ended in 2005, the same year YouTube launched. So it's not relevant or appropriate to use a TV show from 2 decades ago, featuring a man whose family has to put up with dicks the like of Seg, peddling twattish parasite fodder, dishing up trash to already spiteful idiots who doom watch this content, as if it's 100% factual and non-biased, which it is far from. Flogging a dead horse is a graphic metaphor, but how about sledgehammering a dead man instead? I'd advise those that look up to him to go and watch something that doesn't involve the metaphorical dancing on a dead man's grave. Stop doom watching something you viscerally dislike and use your own judgment, rather than that of a masked average Joe, like the side-eye guy.